Well, good morning. We are live here at Impact Deliverance Center, and it's a joy to be with you again this morning. Thanks for joining with me. I just want to take a moment to turn my phone off. It's a joy to be with you again this morning. And if you're joining with me from around the world, well, this Sunday, we are going to have a very interesting topic this Sunday coming up. And I'm just going to I just want to connect with you today because I would like you to join with me this Sunday. If you're a pastor, you're a pastor's wife, you are a young woman, you are married, you are single, I am telling you that you just can't, we as women or even men, we just can't afford to invest in wrong relationships on every level. Relationships is it's an investment, and I've gotten that revelation from the Lord many years ago. I was still in my 20s when God gave me that revelation that relationship is an investment. Our time that we spend in anybody, in a relationship, in church, pastors with members, husbands and wives, boyfriend and girlfriend, at work, business relationship, any kind of relationship. It has to be an investment, and you just can't afford to invest in the wrong person because you're not going to get a return. It may take 30 years, it may take 50 years, it may take 20 years. And we're not just talking about money here or material things. We're talking about your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being. Because if you invest in the wrong person, eventually it is going to affect your spiritual life. Your relationship with God is going to get you very toxic on the inside. Your mind, your emotions, your will. It is going to create problems for you in the long run. If we invest in the wrong person, 90% of time, it affects the emotions, it affects your psyche, it affects your mind, it affects your spiritual life, it affects your personal growth and development. And that in itself, if you don't get rid of that toxic on the inside, that can stay as a blockage. And keep in mind, everything we go through physically has a spiritual impact. So this Sunday, I'm going to be talking about my new edition of my book, A Pastor's Wife Who Survived the Mysteries. And it was years of investment into a minister, into a marriage, into a relationship. And basically, I almost lost my life. I did not get a return. And the return I was looking for by giving my time, my effort, my energy, and in everything, if you invest in, and sometimes the whole goal here, your gift is different from your bondage. And that is the key thing and the key message and the key revelation that the Lord wants to send to all of us. Is your gift is just different from your bondage. Your degree, having a great job is different from your bondage. Having a nice house, having material things, it's different from your personal issues. And you can have a beautiful house, a beautiful home, but mentally you're struggling. And what I have discovered, so many people are suffering with mental issues, and it's because of they have invested their time, their energy, their money, their efforts, and everything in wrong relationships. And as a result, it has affected their psyche, it has affected their spiritual life, and then it has created a problem. So this Sunday, I'm going to make it very short. This Sunday, I will have an intense interview. Minister Bonnie McClendon, she's going to, she works with me right now. She is one of the editors. She's editing my book, and she's the editor of this book, this new edition of this book. She has edited this book thoroughly, and she has been working on my book, A Pastor's Wife Who Survived the Mysteries. She has been working on this book now for over a year. And it has been very intense information. And we are putting the book, we just strive. I'm a person that like to strive for excellence. I believe in excellence and improvement. and whatever you have, you can always improve on it. And that was one of the things that the publishers told me when I released my book. They said that, Paula, you can always improve on your book. There are people who republished their book 3-4 times, and I think that was a great encouragement because it was my first time writing a book. I had no idea what I was doing. I did not follow up from anybody. I just followed the leading of the Lord, and I just wrote the information, and I just searched for a publisher, and I just published my book. So now we are getting the book done in a very, very professional manner, very, very great manner. It's a great book. It has great potential. It's going to save a lot of families, especially pastors and their wives and those of them that is in ministry, and also business people. And it also, I mean, you could be just a regular housewife that have a feeling that something is wrong with your relationship and you don't have a clue. And also, I always encourage people, don't wait until there is a problem in your marriage or problem in your relationship to start improving on yourself or getting information, because information is power. So I want to thank you for joining today with me today. And if you are in the background, I want you to let your friends know. I want you to share this video on your pages and help me to share this good news, because this Sunday, don't forget this Sunday, we are going to have an intense interview, a pastor's wife who survived the mistress, and it's all talking about investing in the right person. Investing, if you're a young woman out there and you have goals, you have dreams, you have inspiration, you just can't afford to invest into the wrong person. If you are a young man out there, or you're a man out there who has a desire to become somebody, and you have a desire to move forward, if you love, and you have dreams, you have goals, you have a vision, you just can't afford to invest in the wrong person. And you may say, well, what do I need to look for to know if I'm going to invest in the wrong person? Well, that's why I have established the Paula Loblack Deliverance Counseling Mentorship Program. And it's an intense program where you need to work, where all of us need to work on our personal life and improve our personal life and deal with soul ties, deal with wrong attachments, deal with things that's affecting our lives. Our lives is like a tree, and if the tree is going to grow, we have to prune it all the time. If the tree is going to flourish, if the rose garden is going to flourish, we have to keep pruning that rose garden and removing things in that rose garden that is not productive or that's not going to allow the rose to blossom. And our lives are like roses. Women, we are like a rose garden, and there are things that's going to block our lives. There are things that's going to hinder us. So yes, you may be in a relationship. Good morning, Bridget. Thanks for joining with me this morning. We may be in a relationship, and that person is giving you everything that you want. They are paying the bills, they're paying the rent, and that's great, but that's not all about the relationship. The relationship is more than that. It's the way the person handles you. It's the investment the person is going to make into your spiritual well-being, your spiritual well-life, your emotional well-life, your mental well-life. It's the way the person handles you. It's the way the person is willing to give back. Not just relationship is negotiation. Relationship is negotiation. It's not one-sided. Like years ago, we have this wrong teachings over the years in the body of Christ that is only women, like as women will always treat us as like slaves. Even growing up in my culture, you always hear women is the one to do everything in the home. Women is the one to housewives, and there's nothing called wifely duties. Wifely duty. We hear it's only the woman is the one that has to do everything. No, relationship is reciprocity. It's a two-way stream. It's not just a one-way stream. And I have come to a conclusion. There is nothing called wifely duties. It's two people in a relationship. Two people has made a commitment to be in a marriage, and two people have to work together as teamwork and improve their personal lives. Remove things in your personal life that is going to affect the relationship. That's going to affect the covenant. And that's the whole purpose of my book, A Pastor's Wife Who Have Survived the Mistress, is to bring out the myth and it's to bring out the things that has affected a great relationship, where we could have saved the relationship or we could have saved the marriage, but the other person was not willing to invest any further. And you cannot get into a relationship if you're not willing to invest until life do us part, because you are going to lose the investment and you're not going to get anything from the investment. And at the end of the day, you're going to start your life all over again. And starting your life all over again, it is not an easy process. And I came to tell you, it is not an easy process. For the past 6 years, it has not been an easy process to start your life all over again. And that's why it's important, as women, as men, don't allow our emotions to get in the way, but begin to seek counseling, seek help, seek mentorship programs. When you find someone, or God send you someone, even if the relationship is of God, or even if God connects you to a person, that person still have to go through self-improvement. That person still have issues. That person is still living in a real world. That person still have gone through negative experiences in life that has affected their emotions and their minds and their psyche and their relationship with God. So it is very important that we survey, take time and survey relationships. Very, very important. It's very important to take our time and survey a relationship. Don't just jump in it. Not because, take time and to get to know somebody. Sometimes we rush into marriages, we rush into engagements, we rush into relationships. And yes, you may be in the relationship, but you're miserable, you're suffering, you are not fulfilled, you're unhappy, you are worrying. And all these things is going to hinder your spiritual growth, your spiritual well-being. So you may be in the marriage and it may be a convenient marriage and you're just there as a convenient marriage because the bills are being paid and you have the material things you need, but inwardly you are dying. But inwardly, you are suffering. But inwardly, things are happening on the inside of you that nobody knows. And as a result, you can end up being sick. I know many, many women have mental issues, schizophrenia, bipolar, mental issues, even men. Because when we go through deep pain in relationships, if we don't work on ourselves, if we don't deal with ourselves, if we don't sort ourselves out, you are going to, I came to tell you, you are going to end up with intense spiritual issues at the end of the day. And we really need to take time off and don't just be in a relationship and just go through your daily life as it's okay. And you just, you don't pay attention to what's going on in the relationship. You don't pay attention to your personal life. It's like it's not existing. And you're just there. It's more than sex. It's more than material things. It's more than just being in a house with a person. Relationship is an investment, and you have to make sure that your investment is maintained. And how do you maintain the investment? You guys personally need to go and check up. You need a checkup, just like how you go for a spiritual check, a physical checkup, and you go to the doctor on a yearly basis to check up your life, and they have to do blood work. Well, we need checkup in our marriages. We need check up in relationship. You need to find a counselor, find someone that can do a checkup with you. And I'm just coming to see if everything in our marriage is okay. We just want to talk. We just want to talk to a counselor. So it don't have to be me. It could be any other counselor that you find, a great counselor who have deep insight, who have gone through a deep spiritual experience, and they understand spiritual things, and they understand deliverance, and they understand healing, and they understand the emotions, and they understand the mind, the psyche, and they understand not just psychology, but they understand the psyche, the spiritual effect, or the spiritual things that's going to affect the emotions and the mental life and your spiritual life, and they can survey your relationship with God. Is there anything blocking your flow with God? Is there anything blocking your prayer life? Is there anything blocking your soul? So your soul can continue to prosper and you can begin to flow in what God has called you to do, because even within your relationship, you have to flow into your destiny and your purpose. Even within, you have to find out, you have to seek help to make sure that there is no control issues in the relationship, to make sure there is no manipulation issues that's going on, whether it's between man or woman, to make sure the relationship is healthy. And this is why I would like you to join me this Sunday, because I'm going to be interviewed, and it's going to be one of my first interviews since I've released my book. As you know, most of you know, I was sick and I had a bad accident in New Jersey for the past 2 years, 2 years ago, and thank God I'm doing pretty well. And so I never really got a chance to do that, to do an in-depth interview on the book. And now that I'm about to redo the book, and we're going to release the book, the second edition of the book, in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be doing an intense interview on that book, A Pastor's Wife Who Survived the Mysteries, this Sunday. And that is a message in itself. That is an intense message in itself for the body of Christ. If you know out there, if you're listening to me, you know a pastor's wife who is struggling, if you know a pastor who is under attack in his relationship, because sometimes when we invest in the stock market, at the beginning the investment look good. That's why we go into the stock market and people invest into different things, because at the beginning the investment looks good. But after a while, you still don't get a return from the investment, because there are things that you're not paying attention to. And it's the same thing with relationships. Sometimes relationships starts off very, very well. Most relationships starts off very, very good. You feel the love, you feel the person is in your best interest. And after a while, the relationship just goes stagnant. And both individuals have to be willing to improve on themselves. And when I say improve, I'm not talking about making more money. I'm not talking about getting more material things. I'm talking about getting yourself deliverance, getting yourself inner healing, getting your soul well, getting your soul healed, removing ungodly attachment, removing the soul ties, dealing with the XXXX, and removing soul ties and ungodly attachment, removing the people in your life that you have outgrown, and begin to seek God for divine relationships. Seek God for the right people that's going to help to make your relationship flourish. Well, it was nice being with you this morning. And like I said, it was a short promo. But I will be with you this Sunday, and we will do an intense interview on the book, A Pastor's Wife Who Survived the Mysteries. Tell a friend, share this video on your page, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye. Take care. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.